Coronation Street's Sam Blakeman is left deeply disturbed next week after uncovering the terrifying reality behind the visions he has been having of Roy Cropper. Sam has been battling psychosis and has mistakenly convinced himself that Roy has been urging him to harm Will Driscoll. Viewers of the ITV soap have recently watched Sam experience frightening hallucinations of Roy, with the dark visions appearing whenever the real Roy was absent, until now. During the hour-long episode airing on the 12th of June, Sam runs away from Will because he still believes his classmate is dangerous. He rushes to the café and locks the doors, leaving Roy completely confused by his behavior. Moments later, Sam is horrified to realize that he can see two versions of Roy at the same time, the frightening hallucination and the real caring cafe owner. Struggling to understand what is happening, Sam questions how both versions could exist, but the hallucination insists that Will is behind the situation once again. Thankfully, the real Roy attempts to calm and comfort the terrified teenager, and Sam slowly begins to recognize the truth about the frightening ordeal he has been facing. The dramatic episode becomes a major turning point in the storyline as Sam's family and friends finally realize just how serious his condition has become. Carla Connor Swain, who has previously experienced psychosis herself, is the first person to recognize the warning signs after discovering a terrified Sam hiding near the precinct. Ben Price, who plays Nick, explained, "Sam finally sees two Roys and locks himself inside the cafe. For Nick, that's the moment when the situation suddenly becomes genuinely dangerous. Sam refuses to let Nick inside, and then he becomes aggressive towards Roy. Seeing Sam behave in such an unusual way is when Nick realizes how serious things really are." He continued, "Carla understands exactly what she's witnessing because she has lived through it herself. Nick trusts her judgment immediately because he knows she recognizes the signs properly. What makes Carla such a strong character is that she normally sees things very clearly and keeps her emotions guarded. So when she reacts strongly, people instantly realize how serious the situation must be. That's exactly what happens for Nick." Todd Grimshaw is left devastated in upcoming Coronation Street scenes as he discovers Summer Spellman at the lowest point of her life while she remains locked up over Theo Silverton's murder case. Summer became the main suspect after Kit Green discovered that the brooch found inside Theo's apartment actually belonged to her. Suspicion around Summer only grew stronger when George Shuttleworth came across her personal journal, where she had written about her hatred for Theo and admitted she wanted him gone from her life. After realizing the police believed she could be the killer, Summer considered fleeing Weatherfield and returning to university in America. However, she never got the chance to escape and is now stuck behind bars, terrified that she could be punished for a crime she insists she didn't commit. In newly released spoiler scenes from the ITV soap, Todd rushes to the hospital after receiving worrying news about Summer. She has been taken there following a severe hypo episode, and Todd initially believes prison staff neglected her diabetes condition. But Todd is stunned when Summer reveals the truth. She deliberately turned off her insulin pump because she could no longer cope with being imprisoned. Trying to comfort her, Todd urges Summer to stay strong as the murder investigation continues and the possibility of court edges closer. Meanwhile, unknown to Summer, someone on the street already holds information that could clear her name completely, although exposing the truth could destroy another life in the process. Tyrone Dobbs later confesses to Fizz Stape that he saw Summer on the night Theo died and knows she cannot be responsible for the murder. However, Fizz is horrified to discover Tyrone lied to detectives to cover up his own involvement in another shocking incident. On the same night Theo was killed, Tyrone caught Carl Webster tampering with Kevin Webster's car brakes. While secretly filming the confrontation, Tyrone accidentally knocked the jack supporting the vehicle, causing the car to collapse onto Carl. Now Tyrone faces a terrifying dilemma. If he tells the police he saw Summer that night, officers will demand to know why he was there and what really happened. Revealing the truth could leave Tyrone facing attempted murder charges himself. Adding even more tension, the footage stored on Tyrone's phone could become the key piece of evidence in the entire case. But with Fizz now aware of the video, could she decide to erase it before the police ever see it? The question now is whether Tyrone will risk everything to prove Summer's innocence or continue staying silent to save himself. Coronation Street's Tyrone Dobbs reaches an emotional breaking point in upcoming scenes as he finally reveals the dangerous secret he has been hiding from Fizz for weeks. Overwhelmed by guilt and unable to stay silent any longer, Tyrone admits that his lies may have helped destroy Summer Spellman's life. Summer is currently being held in prison after being accused of murdering Theo Silverton. However, viewers already know that she appears to be innocent, as previous flashback scenes supported her version of events from the night Theo died. Things take an even darker turn when Summer is rushed to hospital after deliberately making herself seriously ill in a desperate attempt to escape prison, even if only temporarily. News of her condition spreads quickly around Weatherfield, leaving many residents deeply worried about her mental and physical state. For Tyrone, the situation becomes unbearable. He knows that he possesses information that could immediately clear Summer's name, but revealing the truth could also ruin his own life forever. While sitting at home with Fizz, Tyrone struggles to keep his emotions under control before finally confessing everything. In an emotional moment, he admits he has done something terrible and reveals that Summer is only behind bars because he lied to the police. A shocked Fizz immediately questions whether Tyrone himself killed Theo, but he quickly denies being responsible for the murder. Although he admits he disliked Theo, Tyrone insists he would never go that far. Instead, he explains that he saw Summer on the night Theo died, but deliberately kept it from detectives because he feared what would happen if the full truth came out. Tyrone then reveals the horrifying chain of events that led to his panic. On the same night Theo was killed, he caught Carl Webster secretly tampering with Kevin Webster's car brakes inside the garage. Realizing how serious the situation was, Tyrone began recording Carl on his phone as evidence. But the confrontation suddenly spiraled out of control when Tyrone accidentally knocked the jack holding up the car, causing the vehicle to collapse onto Carl. Terrified by what had happened, Tyrone fled the scene and left Ronnie Bailey to deal with the aftermath. As Tyrone finally opens up about the incident, Fizz listens in horror to every detail. Once he finishes explaining, she demands to see the video footage stored on his phone. Her reaction hints that she may already be thinking of a way to protect her husband before the police discover the truth. With Summer's future hanging in the balance, Tyrone now faces an impossible choice: continue protecting himself or risk everything to save an innocent person from prison.